Welcome back to Lighten the Battle. I'm Faustina, a single autistic mom raising an autistic child, healing from narcissistic abuse, and winning in court. I'm doing it all without a husband, a safety net, and I'm carrying 99% of the parenting load. It's just me, my kid, my dog, and Jesus. This is where we get clearer, calmer, and spiritually harder to mess with. This episode is 15B. It's part 2 of episode 15, which I had to split in 2. The first part was last week. It was a story of how winning in court completely rocked my world. And here we talk about 6 specific tips that you can use to get used to peace after a long time of living in chaos. Before we begin, if you're familiar with the show, I'm going to ask you to please leave a 5-star review. It's going to help push the show towards the women who need this content. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get practical, but without too much detail, because episode 16 is where I really go into the details of how to lower the levels of the chemicals in the brain that keep us addicted to chaos. I want to suggest 6 things to think about. Mindset shifts, early seeds we can start planting before we learn about the science of it. The first tip is to stop treating calm like a reward. It's not something you earn. It's a skill that you practice. You practice feeling that peace and being still in it. It's a muscle that you build. It took me a long time to understand that. Second is to name the discomfort. When peace shows up, and it shows up like it's a problem. It really does, okay? Name that discomfort. Tell your body, okay, this is calm. This is not danger. We're learning something new. It sounds silly, but it works. Third tip is to not chase intensity, chase clarity. We want to think about that in the context of starting to date again way later down the road. But let's plant some seeds here. We've clearly established, me and you, listener, if this resonates with you, then we're on the same team. We've established that our brain wants something. The brain seeks people that will make us feel that intensity. Catch it. Catch yourself when you meet someone and they make you feel, amazing, and you've got those butterflies in your stomach. No. These are not butterflies. That's a trauma response. Okay? That's not the person you need to be spending time with. The person you're going to want to be with in the future is someone that your nervous system should consider boring. As you heal, as you go through your journey of healing, and the blood levels of the chemicals we're going to talk about start to normalize, my wish for you is that you go for people that your still traumatized, still healing nervous system will consider boring. Go for boring, please. And as you keep going on your healing journey and you come out of your chemical addiction to chaos, these people won't feel boring anymore. You'll start to see that they're just good, healthy people. So don't chase intensity, chase clarity, chase what feels boring at this point in the journey. The fourth tip is to let your child be a mirror. Notice how your autistic child regulates through movement and stimming, namely. He's picking up on whatever emotions you're going through. You're going to use your child for 2 things. First of all, as a mirror of what you're going through, because he's picking up on your emotions, and that might help you identify the emotions. And it's not a conversation you're going to be having with your child, but you're going to notice when he's noticing and use that as a mirror. Be like, I guess there's something there. And the second way you're going to regulate the nervous system as you struggle with that piece is by maybe exploring learning to stim again. If you grew up in the 80s, 90s, then as a woman, there's no way in hell you were diagnosed back then as autistic. You've learned to stop stimming, you found other ways of regulating, and maybe it's time you follow your child's lead and learn to stim again. Because in this day and age, sure, not all cultures in all countries are welcoming of autism, but at least, I mean, if you're listening to this, it means you've educated yourself, you're learning and curious to learn about autism. And so autism is probably celebrated at home. Here it is. Anyway, in my home, his autism is celebrated. And so I'm going to follow his lead and I'm going to maybe learn to unmask and to stim again, to regulate the nervous system. Again, these are tips to start choosing peace with an autistic brain and to embrace that calm. So if the calm is stressing you out and you need to regulate, then maybe learn to stim again. Fifth tip is to use your dog. Yes, seriously, if you have a dog or a pet, please know that the state they're in, their behavior, especially for dogs, the state that they're in is a direct reflection of the state that you're in. So observe the dog's behavior. If the dog is feeling anxious, frantic, trying to take over in the house, that might mean that you're still a little frazzled. As time goes by and you see the dog starting to settle in and trust you more, that's a direct indication that you're becoming stronger and you're settling in with that peace. You can also use the dog to narrate calmness. Talk to your dog. Verbalize the things. When nobody's watching, you're home, with your dog. Narrate calmness to your dog. Model slowness. The dog, I guess, he's a non-judgmental party that I can speak to and say, ooh, this is how I'm feeling right now, or I'm starting to feel a little hot right now. Maybe I need a break. Or, God, I hate this peace. I hate how quiet my life has become. I'm so bored. Or, gee, you know what happened yesterday? I almost started this new project, which I really don't need to be doing right now because I'm still recovering. I'll tell all these things to my dog, and verbalizing it is a way that we help that peace settle in and become more real. And the sixth tip is to redirect the craving for chaos into strategy. If your brain is coming out of years of functioning at very, very, very high intensity emotionally and nervously, that brain is still functioning at high speed. What do you do with this when there's nothing to feed it? You have to harness it and you have to redirect it into strategy. So you use that speed, that horsepower, that speed that it's been going at for all these years, that intensity, you redirect that right away into order, lists, cleaning, planning. We're not trying to overwork ourselves, exhaust ourselves, and add pressure. That's not what we're doing. But even if it's small things, we're giving your brain a predictable pattern, something to chew on. You don't want to let your brain run wild with nothing to chew on. That's a great recipe for diving headfirst into another problem, more chaos, okay? Keep the brain busy with things that are structured. Okay, now here's the part that changed everything for me. It is the realization that peace was not the absence of chaos. It was the absence of threat. That was the shift for me. Because my diagnosis isn't going away. My baby's diagnosis isn't going away. The co-parenting dynamics are not going to evolve. None of that's going to change ever. So there's always going to be that stress. I'm still going to get stimmed out twice a week, something I talk about in episode 7 about being stimmed out and how we handle that. I'm still going to have to think 10 times before I respond to certain texts. And I can still be at peace because there's no longer a threat. Again, peace is not the absence of chaos, it's the absence of threat. that was the shift for me. Once I realized that, I made a conscious decision to seek peace. It's a choice I made. The transition is the moment I said to myself, this shit isn't going anywhere. That's going to be my reality. 2 diagnoses and a high conflict co-parenting relationship. That's not going to change. And I refuse to let it rob me of my son's childhood. I refuse to miss out on all these years where he's still cute and he's not a teenager and he's not challenging me. And I refuse to miss out on that. So how can we dance in the chaos? How can I find light in the battle? In the battle. I'm not going to hold my breath and wait until it's over so I can finally be happy. That will never happen. None of that is ever gonna go away. And so I took my power back. I started to practice it, practice peace, seek peace, catch peace in the few moments it was right there in front of me. I wasn't going to keep seeing myself as a victim. I wasn't going to keep alienating everyone around me because it's hard enough making friends when you're on the spectrum. But if you're autistic and you're always complaining and sharing horrible stories that people will never believe, you will not be attracting positive, lovely people into your life, the types of people that will build that peace for you. So tough love, babes. Get it together. Our lives are messy. A lot of it is shit. And yet we can make the decision to throw ourselves into exploring peace, building that muscle, practicing it. If this has helped you, please follow the show on the platform that you're using. It helps me reach more autistic moms healing from narcissistic abuse and wanting to leave that addiction to chaos. I want every one of us to find our way out of the chaos loop. Next week, we're talking about something big. It's how to break that addiction to intensity with what's going on in the brain chemically, the hormones at play, and how we manage those. Until then, please take this life one day at a time. Just make it until this evening. And then you do that again tomorrow. And then the day after. One day at a time. We will see you next week.